Blessings, my friends. It's Take Back Our Tech show number 5 with your friend Hakeem Anwar. Today we've got some really important stories. Our first story for the night: AI search is taking over the web. It is blasting the web, and if you own a website, you might be at risk. Google's new unassuming AI mode, right now just its own separate option, may actually kill all organic search traffic. Studies show that people aren't going to click on links anymore. Find out what it actually means and how this AI search works. Our second story for tonight is US Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy in a recent budget hearing says he wants all Americans to wear wearables. Well, how do these wearables work? What companies are going to provide them? And is there a deeper hidden agenda to having everyone wear wearables? The answer might surprise you. Your password is probably in this leak on today's third story, where cybersecurity researchers find 30 different mega databases containing 16 billion credentials. Find out which apps were targeted and how the data was collected, and how to protect yourself in the future after changing your password, of course. Then our last story for tonight is watch out on the streets. Self-driving cars take over in US cities. Tesla's Robotaxis launch their first market in the US in Austin, and Google's Waymo cars get into their 5th market. What's the difference between these two companies, and who's winning the driverless race? Hint, it's not us, the people. Today's TBOT solution is rejecting the AI search in our first story with a meta search engine. I'm going to show you a software called SearxNG, which is a meta search engine, meaning it's a search engine that searches other search engines while protecting your privacy, filtering out ads, and giving you control over your searches. Welcome to the Take Back Our Tech show. I'm your host, Hakeem Anwar. Every Friday, tune into tech news that's well researched and could change your life. And every episode comes with solutions, all in 20 minutes. So as always, follow us at tbot.substack.com and takebackourtech.org. Soon we are going to be on more channels, and I have a few announcements for today. One is soon we're going to be launching a new paid subscriber membership on Substack. Now, the ideas I have to make this worth your while is a longer hands-on solution video that subscribers can watch. So I feel like on a 20-minute show, I don't have enough time to get into the meat of how the solution works. So subscribers will get a longer solution and more hands-on help. Then also access to the Substack chat where they can talk with Hakeem directly. So if you like these ideas, let me know in the comments what you might like. I might release monetization for this episode. I might not. You'll see it in the description, or it might be released in a future episode. Another thing I have to mention is the preview for Above, which is our privacy-friendly technology company's Independence Day sale, which is coming up. This 4th of July, declare your independence from big tech. It's obviously that these big tech companies have picked sides, and their side is with the government against the people, which is why there's this laissez-faire rule to allow them to do whatever they want as long as they share the data with the government, which we're going to learn about in today's stories. But to this 4th of July, take control of your tech. So that could be getting a de-Googled phone, that could be getting a laptop, and we have many specials available. Our Pixel 9a de-Googled phone running on Graphene OS, which I mentioned in the last episode, is on sale for $849. Plus, we also have our starter laptop starting at $600. So these are really, really good deals. Let us know. Go to abovephone.com/freedom. The URL will be in the description. And also, if you have any questions, chat with us here. Remember, every device comes with a free 45-minute setup call with a real live person. We think you're going to love this. And then we also offer payment plans to make it even more accessible to people, because we believe in creating a network for good using friendly technology. That's it for the announcements. Let's get into today's first story. So do you own a website? Well, Google recently released this unassuming AI mode that might just steal all of your traffic. So if you use Google, you might have noticed this AI mode tab right next to your search options. And this past May, Google released it for the first time. Of course, for a year, we've been seeing the AI overview feature, which you might have noticed. Now, this is its own separate thing. And what this does is when you send a search query, it will break it down, and it'll actually break it down into topics, and it will start researching dozens, if not hundreds of sites, giving you a short few paragraph answer that tries to directly answer your question. Under the hood, this AI search uses the Gemini 2.5 model, and both for the AI mode and also for the AI overview, to make it very fast and to give it a wide command of the different websites it's searching. So it uses this technique called query fan out, which it breaks your query up into a bunch of subtopics where they're individually searched and reviewed by the AI. And I did a few test searches, as you'll see on screen here, asking me to give an outlook of how many people search using AI. It searched over 100 sites and put together a few paragraphs all in a few seconds. It's pretty dangerously fast. Google is also planning some new features. You can see on their blog post announcement, they're offering these features such as a deep AI mode, which will give you an essay or report with citations, which is pretty interesting. And then also live capabilities like connecting your microphone and camera directly to the AI so it can give you real live feedback on what you're doing. There's also agentic capabilities, which will go out into the world and present you with options if you're looking for things to do, restaurants to book, and of course, Google is going to try and create a cohesive experience for this. So with about 90% of all global search in the hands of Google, which is a situation engineered by Google's control over different ecosystems like the Chrome browser and Android, which they might have to let go of soon, we can define that we're about to get hit with another network blast. Now, this is a term I came up with, and I use it to define an entity or organization with a majority market share, like Google, which rolls out a feature that the users are automatically enrolled into or they're exposed to, leading to that feature gaining a ton of momentum, regardless if it's good or not. So this Google AI search is a perfect example how 90% of people who search the web will now have the option to use this. Previous examples have been the contacts tracing that Google and Apple rolled out, which they had to force on people, because it really wasn't useful and there was no reason to use it. And then also the mobile payments, which were more successful. Google and Apple Pay were launched. Within a few years, they took up 50% of digital payments. So this network blast is a really real thing, and we're already seeing the impacts. According to Courthouse News Service, we're already seeing people turning to AI bots, even in their infancy. This is from this June, and according to this Oxford study, 7% of people use the AI to find news. The proportion is higher of younger people, of course. They're using things like ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, and Meta's Llama. And so more people are turning to AI tools, but what's worse is that there have been studies released showing when testing the Google AI overview, it's leading to a decline of click-throughs on search links. So if you run a website on the web and you show up on the search results, this may not matter anymore. If the person is doing an AI search, they may not even click on your link, as it's showing a 30% decline. Now, the AI in this case, this is literally just the AI overview. It's not talking about this new news model. So this is very, very concerning for anyone who runs a website on the web, and you should be forwarding this to all to your business owners, to content creators who have websites. What we will see is all these negative consequences. Search traffic is going to nosedive. This will kill a large portion of websites. It doesn't matter if you're big, it doesn't matter if you're small, everyone's going to take a hit. The AI is also going to be biased towards the most authoritative websites, leading to the AI just parroting the information and headlines from all of the popular outlets. And this network blast that's being sent out will also trigger the tech companies to follow the leader. And we're going to see AI-assisted search and other alternative search engines. And big tech companies will continue to gain more surveillance and control, being able to influence searchers with a spin on their prompts. Whatever the issue is, the AI will have its bias or its twist while silencing alternative viewpoints. Most dangerous of all, your ability to search and reason and think for yourselves and find sources. All of these important skills of being a well-researched and well-rounded person are going to atrophy. You might lose the ability, and a lot of people I can sense will use this AI search because of how flashy and how fast it is. Right now, this is its own separate feature, but Google is going to incorporate these into the core search experience. So it's eventually going to be the default way you use search, or it may be. And the cruel irony is Google and these other AI companies use the entire internet and pulled all the information off of it to train their AIs, and now they're turning around and they're going to kill the very websites they were fed from. So for those who want to think for themselves and keep the ability to search and reason, we must look to alternative search engines. Later on in this video, I'm going to show you how to use a meta search engine, which will sit between you and other search engines to give you back the best results without ads, while protecting your privacy and giving you complete control of your search results. So we run this SearxNG service as part of Above Suite, which is our suite of private software services. If you want to check it out, go to abovephone.com/suite so you can get using it right away, or wait till the end for the solutions segment of this show. On to the second story for tonight. RFK is making health surveillance great again. A recent budget hearing, in response to a question that was asked of RFK, he said,
"My vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years. It's a way of people can take control over their own health."
Or, I'd like to pose as a way that big tech can track everyone's vital signs and pass that information along to the government. So in this budget hearing for Health and Human Services, which is his department, he asked for a budget increase of $20 million
to launch one of the biggest advertising campaigns in HHS history to encourage Americans to use wearables.
And I tried to look through the budget to see how much it's going to cost. It's not itemized in there. If someone finds out, let me know. And Secretary Kennedy says
they can take responsibility. They can see, as you know, what food is doing to their glucose levels, their heart rates, and a number of other metrics as they eat it. And they can begin to make good judgments about their diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives.
Oh, looks like my blood sugar is going up. I'm going to put down this box of cookies. No, I don't think it works like that. I think it works by actually paying attention to your own health and how you're feeling. But these wearables could mean devices like continuous glucose monitors, which have also been promoted by U.S. Surgeon General nominee Casey Means, who was the co-founder of a company called Levels, which develops these very monitors. So talk about a conflict of interest. Anyone invested in these companies would stand to profit handsomely if there was a nationwide push or insurance started covering these things. Now these CGMs are these little plastic discs, and a little filament actually inserts into your skin and measures the glucose levels in the interstitial fluid, which is the fluid outside of the blood, and then transmits this to your phone using Bluetooth. Oh yes, this is going to make you a lot healthier. Let's just not pay attention to the dangerous amounts of radiation emitting from this device and your phone. And then of course there's things like Apple Watch, which can measure your heart rate. And Apple has been developing health studies for years now, based on wearable products like its watch, its AirPods, and questionnaires delivered over the iPhone. Now only one big catch. So if you look in their privacy policy, you'll see the information is shared with the U.S. Health and Human Services Department and also other federal and state organizations and the FDA. So if you enroll in these health studies, if you get these wearables, then there's also this hidden agenda of being able to track Americans' health data. And if we haven't learned anything over the past 4 years, is that the government can't be trusted with everyone's health data, and it ends up having a worse result for everyone. And so now RFK is setting everyone up for a real-time feed of our health and health surveillance. And I've written about this extensively in our article on takebackourtech.org, how big tech plans to read your mind, where I talk about the Apple Watches. I talk about Apple's unreleased patents, which use things like electroencephalography, which can actually measure your brain waves. So they are working on ways to detect how you can think. Their level of surveillance isn't just limited to the screens. It is literally going to follow us everywhere if you choose to wear these wearable devices. And given Trump's executive 2025 order to break down data silos in the government, if this data makes its way into Health and Human Services, there's no reason why it couldn't be shared with other agencies and be a part of your official record. So don't let big tech wear your mind. Put the wearable down and go touch grass. Really, you need to. Our third story for tonight is your password is probably somewhere in this leak. A collection of supermassive password databases were leaked last week, revealing 16 billion password credentials. That's about 2 for everyone on Earth. And you're probably going to be somewhere on this list. I'm sure I'm somewhere on this list. But Cyber News, the research outlet that discovered the leak, said that it's not just old data. These are newly gathered accounts, which include the websites, usernames, passwords, and even login cookies. In datasets like these are usually collected and sold for huge sums on the dark web, and they're ready to go for automated account takeovers and identity theft. So hackers will write programs to go row by row and attempt to break into the account, probably based on the app or even just the person. And so check out the list of databases and the number of leaks there have. Of note is the 60 million Telegram accounts, and also leak from other big tech companies, including Apple, Facebook, Google, GitHub, Zoom, and Twitch. If it exists online, chances are it's somewhere in this password database. Now, the researchers say this format matches up with the output of info stealers, which is a popular type of malware that can be deployed on your machine through social engineering, getting you to download something that you shouldn't have had. So if there's something that pretends to be an app, but it gets on your computer, the way these things work, once it's on your machine, it searches through common locations where things are stored, such as your browser's password database or sensitive documents, and then anything sensitive is automatically or manually exfiltrated to the attacker's machine. So how do you actually protect yourself? Well, we have a webinar exactly for this thing. Your protection starts from the first part of their attack on you, which is the web browser, which is where you might normally download a malicious file onto your computer. So to protect yourself, go to learn.above.com, and this link will be in the description. Web browsing for privacy lovers. This is a 20-part webinar we did on how you can protect your browser and use browser extensions that block third-party scripts and give you peace of mind when browsing the web. Now, this will take you a long bit of the way to protecting your browser health, and then will protect you from things like info stealers being downloaded onto your computer. So learn more, go to learn.abovephone.com on our web browsing for privacy lovers webinar. Our fourth story for tonight, self-driving cars take over roads in major cities. You better get out of the way if you see them coming. You may have noticed the self-driving cars in major cities. Now, Google's Waymo is launching its fourth fully driverless ride service in Atlanta. This is its 5th city that it's in the US, while Tesla is getting its very first, launching its Robotaxi service in Austin, which has safety monitors in the car, which we will get into. Look at it, there it is. It's a crappy looking Tesla with a Robotaxi on it, and there's some videos here of people trying it out. Of course, in Tesla, in their marketing first fashion, did this limited release of the ride service to certain Tesla-friendly influencers, while Google Waymo's cars are open to everyone in Austin and Atlanta. Now, there's a key difference between these two types of ride services. Tesla uses a series of 8 cameras for their full self-driving system. Supervised, they have to put in supervised because they're required by law, because it's not actually self-driving. It'd be dangerous to call it that. And there's a clear distinction. Waymo uses pre-generated custom maps generated by LiDAR and radar and image sensors, which is, so it can't expand as fast. It needs to have the city pre-mapped, but the LiDAR is why you have that spinny thing on top. Tesla's system is much cheaper And it's also found that you kind of get what you pay for. The older versions of the software were shown to be fooled by fake backdrops and even smoke. So think of those Wile E. Coyote cartoons where you see a fake tunnel printed onto rock and the coyote just running into it. Mark Rober on YouTube did a test of Tesla's autopilot features and saw that smoke and this fake backdrop would actually fool the Tesla, and it wouldn't stop for whatever was behind the backdrop, even if it was a mannequin the size of a child. So although this official release of Tesla's Robotaxi were generally good, as you'd expect from a bunch of Tesla fans, there was this one clip where this car suddenly veered into the oncoming lane. So obviously, Google versus Tesla, there's levels to this, and Waymo is at level 4. The Society of Automotive Engineers defined 6 levels of driving automation, 0 being fully manual and 5 being fully autonomous, where you don't need to do anything. Kick back, relax, and let the car do the work. Level 4 is the first that requires no human engagement, which is why they don't need supervisors inside of Waymo cars, and they don't even need to be paying attention. You may not even have a pedal or steering wheel to control the car, but this is only for local regions. This wouldn't be trusted for a cross-country trip. That would be level 5. In theory, these self-driving cars sound nice. We know that Tesla is at a level 2, meaning that they do need someone to stay in the car and supervise. And there's also cameras, which aren't as precise as LiDAR and radar, which will actually map out whether there's something physical in front of you instead of just looking at the image. So these self-driving cars sound nice, they're starting to become available, but with big tech companies at the helm, we know there's no free rides. And these systems will be used to push an agenda, a smart city agenda where humans will eventually be deemed unfit to drive, and all car travel will be tracked and controlled through these driverless car services. So driverless, that means without you. Some of you might use this stuff for convenience, but I see it that the world is changing and not in a good way. Instead of educating our drivers to drive better, because there are a lot of people that shouldn't be driving, to be honest, but instead of educating them, we're just going to replace them with robots, which is going to have a whole host of problems. All right, folks, you wanted today's solution for the day. I'm going to be showing you how to use the software called SearxNG, and this is a way you can search multiple different search engines. Of course, I'm using our official search instance provided by Above Suite, which is our company's way of providing private software services to people, but there's a lot hidden underneath the hood here. So if you click on preferences on our search engine, you can see that you can actually configure the engines outlined here. So not only can you search from Google, but you can search for Bing. You can turn on Brave, you can turn off Brave. You can search from pre-search. You have all of these different search providers available to you, whereas other search engines only let you search one. So that's one really big difference. Now, there are also many different types of sources of information. You can search different image libraries, you can search different video hosters, and then you can also do different queries. So this is ways to customize the response of the search engine based on different statistics. And then you could also use different privacy things. So one of the things that happens is the tracker URLs and a lot of search results. This search engine brings you those without with actually filtering those out, which is really, really cool. And of course, you can search you can change your language, and you can use all of the normal search queries that you might want to use. So let me give you an example of a search. Let's call this AI search taking over. I'll search that and I'll show you how these different search engines will give you different responses. Now, 3 of these search engines have said I'm requesting too many times, but 4 other search engines have replied within a second, and it's also giving us a URL, and it's also giving us different suggestions. So this is really cool. You can see images, you can get videos, you can get news. It can do everything a normal search engine could, but privately. So check this out. This is really, really cool. Again, this is part of Above Suite. Try and get this. This not only comes with a search engine, but it comes with video conferencing, encrypted chat, an internet phone number, a search engine, of course, and a email and calendar. Now, these are all private, and this all costs $100 a year, which is incredibly cheap when you think a VPN might cost almost that much per year. So this is something that we're doing. We're a homegrown company. We're privately funded. We don't have any external funders, and so we're trying to do this all without any third parties. We run it on our own data center, and we want to bring you tools that you can use to improve your life, improve your own business, and eventually make a better world. So thanks for watching today's solution. As always, please spread the word. If you appreciate quality journalism, share on our show on Substack, tbot.substack.com, and our website, takebackourtech.org. We'll have the full articles and clips of this show released next week. And please always remember, our connection is sacred. Peace.